Hello everyone and welcome to the Anime Board. I'm Brian, your host, and I have found one of the most wholesome manga to have existed. I was going to say the most wholesome manga, but then I remembered that Teasing Master Takagi-san exists, and that is so unbelievably wholesome that I can't view it properly. Otherwise, I would be burned by its purity. What that says about me aside, today we are talking about My Stepmother and Stepsisters Aren't Wicked by Otsuji. I cannot prove that this is a pen name for Bisco Hattori, but every single time I look at the younger stepsister, all I see is Renge.
Yep, sure enough.
Anyway, as I'm sure you can tell, this is a Cinderella-inspired story. I just thought that the title and the description on the back sounded interesting, so let's touch that real quick. Mia is the illegitimate child of a certain prominent family. When her mother dies, she's convinced that she knows what awaits her in her new home. A life of servitude and misery at the hands of her wicked stepmother and stepsisters. Yet when she finally meets the women she expects to treat her like dirt, they actually end up being sweet? A hilarious, heartfelt comedy that's sure to put a smile on your face. So yeah, it's clearly nothing crazy, but it sounds cute. And sure enough, the manga does open up with Mia meeting her stepfamily and her new sisters calling her stinky, but then immediately and personally bathe her. And I swear that it is wholesome. Look, I can show the image right here on YouTube, and I am like 90% confident that YouTube won't get mad at me for it. So this ends up being the running gag throughout the first volume. Mia, given her past hardships as a poor commoner and working for other nobles, assumes the worst in pretty much any given situation. Then the stepfamily makes some kind of rude or mean remark about the situation, or at least they seem to. But it turns out that they aren't being negative at all and are willing to help Mia and give her full unconditional love and kindness, leaving Mia to go, "What?" This isn't a bad gag. I enjoy it, but like anything, is going to get grating and repetitive in quick succession, which is what this manga does. But the manga is also very clever about it. First, it is fully understandable that it would take Mia a long time to get used to this culture shock. She and the audience, based on just preconceived notions, have no reason to expect the stepfamily, who are very rich and noble people, to be nice to this girl. So that does give credence to having that gag go on for a good while before it gets annoying and you drop it like a hot stone. But by the end of this volume, Mia is getting more used to this treatment. Yeah, she still has that worry about being a burden or anything like that, disappointing her new family, but she no longer really thinks ill of the family by the end of the volume. She understands that they are nice people, and she just doesn't want to trouble them. So it does change up the dynamic of the joke a bit there. But the most important thing that the manga does is that it does introduce hints and sprinklings of a wider plot and story that would just make it more well-rounded as the story progresses. Mia's maternal grandmother enters the scene, trying to get Mia to come home after she had agreed to let Mia live with this family. She says that this would just be in everyone's best interest, as Mia is likely uncomfortable living here, and having such a poor person would bring shame upon the noble family while she lives in the estate. However, it's implied that the grandmother actually wants to put Mia into indentured servitude to a merchant. Whether that's the whole and true story isn't explained here. It's not shown yet. But what it does do is it adds that single layer of extra complexity and gives hope that there will be more layers of socio-political intrigue that will be mixed in with the wholesome slice-of-life nature of this family. And also there's the father, who isn't even introduced in the first volume, and I have no idea what his deal is with anyone because he's only mentioned in passing. The most that we get is that his book collection was put into storage so that the library could be turned into Mia's room. Given that he likely cheated on his wife and left his illegitimate daughter to just be in squalor, I'm going to bet that there's some bad blood there, and I am very interested in seeing him show up. And to touch on the main four characters a bit, I really do enjoy them. Mia is admittedly very plain, as she exists to be the audience surrogate to experience this wacky family. And as this is the first volume, I don't want to be too harsh on that front. The Stepfamily, with their dualistic natures, really steal the show, as they're pretty much meant to. The Stepmother is probably my favorite right now, or maybe the short-haired stepsister, but mostly because of how adorable she looks while reading. This manga is filled with so many cute faces that are ripe for reaction images. It's amazing. But the Stepmother is certainly the most jarring in terms of her appearance and her nature. She looks so much like Lady Tremaine from Disney's Cinderella that it has to be on purpose. And out of all the wicked stepmothers, out of all the adaptations of Cinderella, she is the best choice when you want to look evil. But she's not evil, because we have this moment where Mia tries to call her mother. She at first seems to rebuke her, like, "How dare you call me that, peasant?" But then she clarifies that she doesn't want Mia to force herself to override the memories of her birth mother and potentially tarnish them by calling this practical stranger by the same name. Then she vehemently insists that Mia call her mommy. It's genuine, heartfelt sincerity mixed with really good comedy. You might as well call it a fruit preserve because it's my jam. I never said I made really good comedy. Anyway, this video might end up being on the short side because there's not really much else to say. It's a very simple yet effective manga. It draws you in with the premise and then makes you want to stay as it teases with more. A+ work here, and I cannot wait for the second volume. And if you can't either, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more manga videos and whatever the else I decide to upload. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time in the void. Later.